Good afternoon. This is Steve Day. I'm president of National Agency Operations for Fidelity National Financial Family of Companies. I'm here to join you again, to talk about our current situation. My first video was from our remote office back when we were just starting to do social distancing from there. Now I'm broadcasting from my home and just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about where we are as a company, where we are trying to support you in all of your efforts, and to talk about where we go in the future. So first off, I think in leading off on this video, the most important thing is to again acknowledge our industry. It is amazing every time there are challenges to the real estate and escrow closing practices that our industry finds a way of stepping forward and allowing things to continue on, especially our small agents out in the field. We've had so many agents that have worked with remote notaries dropping off packages on a front desk and watching from their cars they get executed. Our great agent, Greater Illinois Title, who started with one of the first with the drive-up closings, and so many different initiatives to make sure that people can still have their closings move forward and be able to either refinance or move into their homes. So from the Fidelity family of companies, one of the things we've been trying to do is make sure that we're supporting you in those initiatives, especially on the underwriting side. We have come out with a number of bulletins to focus on what some of the new requirements are and ways to continue to move forward. One of the first and the continuing is with regard to gap coverages. Thankfully, what we've seen is a lot of the registries that initially responded by closing down once it was determined that continuing with the real estate closings was an essential function across the country. That many of those registries have now stayed open, at least by electronic means or minimal staffing, but still allowing us to move forward. But it still presents a concern to our lenders relative to gap, and we have to be out there asserting that that is a coverage item that we'll still provide, and we're looking to monitor. And we've just recently issued a memo that says it'll be extended for the current time until hopefully we can get this resolved. Another key issue is with regard to remote online notarization. Again, this is, to be clear, this is with regard to digital execution of the documents, true style RON, that which had been adopted in 23 states already across the country. We liberalized our standards in that regard to allow for production through a RON process with an exception, but still looking to expand a little bit if that is the option that is best serving your customers to move forward with the transaction. But finally, and more importantly, a lot of states through executive orders or through actual legislation have developed a hybrid, which we're calling audiovisual notarization. It's basically allowing for the wet signature of the documents by the consumers, but the notarization is expanding upon the term of in the presence of, to allow that to be by way of overseeing the execution of the documents through a video means. So to be clear, it's not RON, it's not an electronic execution and processing of the documents, but it is a way to allow us through social distancing to still have the transaction move forward. Now, a lot of the executive orders have particular requirements, so be conscious of within your state, and we have issued out underwriting guides which have been issued by each of the state council and can be found in our COVID-19 section of the National Agency website. So feel free to go out and look at that. And we've talked frequently about still continuing old school. I know that my son just refinanced on his house, and it was the situation where the remote notary dropped the package off on the step, watched them take the packages, talked from a 12-foot distance as to any questions they had, watch the execution, watch them put it back into the package, and to then bring it back into the car and actually notarize. All of these things, whether we do it in a conference room looking through a window, through a different conference room, monitoring through Zoom, or go to meetings, there are still ways to get the transactions conducted and still have social distancing. If you have any questions in this regard, please reach out to your agency representative or underwriter to discuss. In addition, we're still looking to support you in your day-to-day operations. And as we are all working primarily remote, it's probably a good time to look at some of the resources we have. We continue to offer up national bulletins and underwriting guides with regard to your operations and looking to support you in the day-to-day function. You're aware of our LEAD initiative, our online educational programs. We continue to update with a lot of information in that regard. And as we're all hunkering down and you may have an extra hour or two during the day, go on to LEAD and look if there are some educational programs you can look to enhance upon your abilities during this time. Tara Asquith recently sent out a flyer concerning the enhancements which we had to agent tracks. I think you'll see that the new form of tiles and allowing for you to go in and out of different sections without needing to quit and go forward is really going to help upon the productivity. And if you haven't had a chance to go in and look at the changes, please do so. And then I highlight our digital closing hub. At the time we instituted this, we thought it was just an expansion upon our offerings relative to where we were slowly transitioning in the digital world. Well, with the current social distancing and the requirements to do so much remotely, this digital process becomes more and more important. So please look at, we continue to update and we'll continue to update on a weekly basis as to information on there. So it's another place to go to. And of course, you can share this with your customers. The Digital Closing Hub is available for you to offer out there to anyone you'd like to have it. It's not behind any firewall. So please feel free to offer up the link to allow them to go to the Digital Closing Hub and to also have this additional information. And during this time, and you've probably seen notifications from ALTA and others in the industry, we have a continued concern as to wire fraud and phishing schemes which are tied to the COVID-19 crisis. You'll see our bulletins out there. We have the information which you can share with your customers, but this continues to be a real concern and somebody trying to leverage the situation. So please be cautious, be conscious of this being out there. Although over 90% of our agency operations are now working remotely and will continue to do so until it's safe to get back into our offices and to work there full time, we are still available. We all have access with either our phones being forwarded, or many of you have our cell phone numbers and are free to use it. Our email addresses are still working. So please, during this time, if there's anything we can do, any information we can share, anything we should be focused on, reach out to your underwriters, to your agency reps, to your managers, to me, to ask for additional information. So until we speak again, be safe, be healthy, and please reach out if there's anything we can do. Thanks.